Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Beelink sent us this mini PC for review. It is the GTI with an i5-8259U. There are two versions of this mini PC. We have the model with 16 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage. On Amazon it is listed for $559 US. If you want the model with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, you're looking at $499 on Amazon. In the box are two HDMI cables, quite short. This one is just under 30 centimeters and this one is a little bit over 1 meter. We're getting a VESA mounting bracket. There's an adapter to install a 2.5-inch SATA drive inside the machine and also some screws. We have a power supply with a US plug and 19 volts, 3 amps. And finally, there's a user manual in various languages as well as an installation guide to upgrade the RAM and the storage. And here we are at the front of the unit. We have two microphones here. This is the power button, and I noticed that sometimes it gets stuck. So this might just be an issue with my particular unit. There's a white LED when you turn it on. Clear CMOS button. The BIOS is unlocked. You can play around with it, and if anything goes wrong, you can just reset the BIOS. Two USB 3 ports. We have an audio port. This one uses TRRS, so you can use a headset. Unfortunately, this audio port was really crackling for me. Lots of audio distortion. I will put a recording up on the screen. So again, might be an issue with my particular unit, not sure. USB Type-C at the front. This one carries also video output. I tested it at 1440p with 144 Hz, so it will do 4K 60 as well. And at the top is a fingerprint reader. You can use that to log on to your machine. At the back we have heaps of ports. Power supply goes here. We have two Ethernet ports, both gigabit and chips from Realtek. Display port. I confirmed it working with my 1440p monitor at 144 Hz. However, big surprise with the HDMI at 144p, only 60 Hz. So I believe this is not a HDMI 2.0. So at 4K it will not do 60 Hz. So a little bit disappointed, to be honest. Two USB 3 at the back and two USB 2. And here are the fan outlets. The machine is advertised as having quiet fans. Here's a recording. It's definitely audible, but not as bad as some of the other mini PCs that we reviewed recently. The i5-8259U is from 2018, 4 cores and 8 threads, 2.3 GHz base clock with a turbo of up to 3.8. Running Cinebench, I saw a clock speed of 2.9 GHz. Sitting idle on the desktop, the mini PC only consumes around 9 watts, but under full load, the power meter registered between 48 and 54 watts depending on what you're doing, so that's actually pretty high. When running Cinebench, I measured around 80 degrees of CPU temperature. Let's have a look at Cinebench. In R15, the multi-thread performance 667 and single-thread performance 159. In Cinebench R20, 1551 for multi and 391 for single-thread performance. And in Cinebench R23, we're getting 3240 for multi and 905 for single-thread results. Now here we have a comparison to another mini PC from Beelink, which is the GTI with a Ryzen 5 3550H, and you can see that the Ryzen 5 is a little bit faster. When I checked out graphics performance, I was quite surprised. We have an Intel Iris Plus graphics 655 with 48 shaders. In Ice Storm Extreme 63,091, in Cloudgate 11,884, in Night Raid 8,613, in Skydiver 7,297, in Firestrike 1,909, and in TimeSpy, although the benchmark did run, it will then crash and not give us a score. And again, let's compare this Beelink mini PC to the one with the Ryzen 5 APU, and also here we can see that the Ryzen 5 model is actually faster. I also tested a few games. Dirt 3 at 1080p with medium details over 60 FPS. That is surprisingly good. Strange Brigade also ran fine at 720p. With low details, we're getting just over 30 FPS. I did try Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 720p with the lowest details, but this game does not run that well. And unfortunately, Crysis, it does launch, but in the beginning, after a while, it will crash to the desktop. Now, the Intel graphics can accelerate video, so this could be a good machine for a media center PC. It handles all the codecs at high resolutions. Unfortunately, with the lack of HDMI 2.0, I really can't recommend this as a media center PC. I think that's a real oversight. You could use the DisplayPort with an adapter, but really a machine like this should come with HDMI 2.0. We have 16 gigabytes of RAM configured in dual channel configuration, DDR4 running at 2400 megahertz with 10-10-10-28 memory timings. The machine comes with Wi-Fi 6 support thanks to an Intel AX200 Wi-Fi adapter. Unfortunately, I don't have a compatible router yet, but my router supports 802.11ac. And look at that, we're getting around 45 megabytes per second, copying stuff from my NAS. So that was actually really impressive. The machine comes with 512 gigabytes of storage, but there's a second M.2 slot for a SATA SSD, and you can also install a 2.5-inch SATA drive. Here we have a benchmark of the storage the machine comes with, just over 2 gigabytes per second reading and just under 1 gigabytes per second of write performance. Pre-installed is Windows 10 Pro and it's activated with a digital license. Before I ran all the benchmarks, I connected to the internet and I did install all the latest updates. And if you want to enter the BIOS, press the delete key to do so at the beginning, and F7 gets you into the boot menu. I had a look in the BIOS, there are lots of options, unfortunately nothing to do with overclocking or raising the memory speed, but yeah, maybe some of the other settings are of interest to you. So guys, what's the verdict? We have decent CPU performance, decent GPU performance as well, which surprised me quite a bit, healthy amounts of RAM and storage. It's upgradable. You can install another M.2 SATA SSD. You can install a 2.5-inch SSD or hard drive. We have a healthy range of ports, and also the fan speed has been improved. A few negatives: the power button, which sometimes gets stuck. That's an oversight. And also the headphone port with a lot of crackling happening. And finally, no HDMI 2.0, which is a big letdown in my opinion. But ultimately, what I can say overall using this machine, the model with the Ryzen APU is better. It's got a faster CPU, it's got better graphics. So yeah, quite confused why they didn't just continue with the Ryzen model and switching over to Intel. I can't really see any major benefits of this machine over the model with the Ryzen, but that's for Beelink to decide if they listen to their consumers. I'm looking forward to testing another Ryzen machine. Hopefully they will make one, especially with a 4000 series APU. We have a few more mini PCs in the pipeline. Let me know if there's anything you want me to focus on. I still don't have a Wi-Fi 6 router, but I'm trying to get hold of one, and then we can do some testing. And also one of the mini PCs we will look at will have a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. They seem to be slowly coming onto the market and becoming mainstream. So that's also something I want to look at. But otherwise, yeah, you guys let me know what else you want to see in future videos. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it interesting, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, and I shall see you soon with another one.